Welcome back to Perkins Pipes. This is a tough decision to make. I brought out this gorgeous little SMS Meerschaum. I love this little guy. The challenge is this is such a small pipe for what could be a gigantic topic. So I'm going to have to make sure I keep the topic short today as I talk about it with this pipe. The reason I picked it, though, is because it's so elegant and it just fits the elegant, wispy, even ethereal nature of what we're going to talk about. So let's get this guy lit. Let's get to talking. So you say, wow, those are some interesting words to use. Elegant and wispy and ethereal. What is he going to talk about in this episode? Well, I got to tell you, I'm going to talk about three of my absolutely favorite female vocalists. I'm going to be talking about Sandy Denny, Natalie Merchant, and Corinne Drury. You say, well, maybe I've heard one or two of those. Maybe I've heard none of those. Who are those people, Steve? Well, let me tell you. Sandy Denny, I came to know because she is the only guest vocalist ever to record with Led Zeppelin. She is the female vocal on the song The Battle of Evermore from Zeppelin's 1971 fourth album. So somewhere along the way, I figured, hey, I got to find out who this is, right? Who is the only guest vocalist ever to record with Led Zeppelin. And come to find out, Sandy Denny was in the British folk music genre, and for a number of albums was the lead singer of a group called Fairport Convention. And in 1969, Fairport Convention released 3 albums. Now, because the pipe was small, which means there's not a lot of tobacco here, I've got to make this quick. So I just want to touch briefly on those 3 albums. The first album is actually the second album that Fairport Convention put out. Their first one was in 1968 with a different vocalist, or a different female vocalist. And then Sandy Denny came in, and so her first album was their second album overall. And it's What We Did on Our Holidays is the title of the album, and beautiful, beautiful album. Top song for me is a song called Fathering Gay. Fathering Gay. Now, we'll link to all of these so that you can go check them out for yourself. But as soon as you listen to Fathering Gay, you'll know what I'm talking about when I say moody and ethereal sort of a vocal. Talk about taking you to a time and place. Sandy Denny's voice and the lyrics, the music, they're sad, they're haunting, they touch me deeply. They tell stories of another era, indeed another world at times, and so deeply do they touch me that it's rare that I can listen to more than a few at one time. I don't know, well, with one example, maybe one of their albums, I can't listen to a full album straight through in one sitting. Just can't do it. It's too deep. It's too touching. So I think you listen to Fothering Gay, you'll get a sense of that. The next album they had in 1969 also, one of the best album titles ever. It's not a real word. Unhalf Bricking. Unhalf Bricking is the title of the album. Love that. And one song over there in particular, Who Knows Where the Time Goes? Who Knows Where the Time Goes? Again, it's just hauntingly beautiful lyric. Now, the one I want to spend a little bit more time on is the third album from 1969 that they released, Liege and Leaf. And there are 3 songs on this one. Two in particular that I really want to talk about. And I'm realizing I didn't bring something out to the deck here that I should have. In fact, I'm going to pause this right now, run in the house, grab that, and I'll be right back. So here I am back. From the video, you didn't even know I was gone. So there are 3 songs on Liege and Leaf. The first is Renardine, which is clearly in the vein of the other 2 that I'm going to mention. These are ballads in the really the strictest poetic sense of a ballad. It takes you away again to a place, a world, a whole world. You think about Tolkien creating worlds. You think about C.S. Lewis creating worlds. These songs create worlds, mystical, wonderful places that you're transported to, and deeply touching. Renardine, absolutely fabulous. The second one that has a lot of meaning for me is Tom Lynn. And it has a lot of meaning for me because of a favorite book of mine, Tom Lynn, by Pamela Dean. And I got this in 1992. Came out in 91. And it is a retelling of the Ballad of Tom Lynn. There's a character in the book named Thomas Lane. So that's where that goes. And it's actually a beautiful story about a young woman. She's an undergraduate, exploring lots of different things at college, relationships, certainly not getting tobacco all over her, and poetry, literature, and I've been intrigued by the book. I've read it several times. And right off the bat, there's references to classics majors, which got my attention right away. And I was thinking it was earlier on in the book, maybe it's later in the book. Some very, very nice references to my favorite guy, Alexander Pope. So love that. Anyhow, Fairport Convention did the song based on the classic ballad from English literature, Tom Lynn. And then the third one on that I like so much off that album is Sir Patrick Spens. And I love that because it's one of my favorite ballads of all time. It's from the Anonymous English Ballads. And you may well have read it back in school. I certainly did. Back when I was in high school. Loved it then. Love it now. The king has written, let's see here. The king sits in Dumferling tune, drinking his blood-red wine. Or where will I get the guide sailor to sail this ship of mine? Open spec in Eldernick, said to her king's right knee, Sir Patrick Spens is the best sailor that sailed upon the sea. The king has written a braid letter and signed it with his hand and sent it to Sir Patrick Spens was walking on the sand. The first line that Sir Patrick read aloud, laughed he. The next line that Sir Patrick read, a tear blinded his eye. Oh, why is this has done this deed and told the king of me to send us out this time of the year to sail upon the sea? Make haste, merry men all, our good ship sails the morn. And goes on from there, tells a wonderful story of these sailors who go and the captain of the boat says, this is bad. We shouldn't go out this time of the year. It's bad sailing. They're forced to do by the king, and they all end up dying in the end. Just really, really great, well-told story in the ballad, and they do that song. So I love the fact that there's a song version of one of my favorite poems. And the voice of Sandy Denny. And you might know better, the Ballad of Evermore from Led Zeppelin 4. That's her voice, so it's that wispy, ethereal voice. The next voice I want to talk about is Natalie Merchant. You may know her from her solo career. You may know her from the band 10,000 Maniacs. And while I like a lot of her stuff, it is the classic 1987 album by 10,000 Maniacs called In My Tribe. Every single song on there, I love it. Natalie Merchant's voice is as pure as crystal. She is just a delightful person. You watch her perform. She's got such energy. And again, she takes you to a place. And in no small part, takes me back to my undergraduate days. And I just want to touch on 3 songs. What's the Matter Here? When did you ever hear a pop song that actually called out the horrors of child abuse? That's what this song is about. And she says, I'm tired of the excuses everybody uses. He's their kid. Do as you see fit. Well, get this through. The time won't approve what you did to your own flesh and blood. It's a beautiful, powerful, moving song. And her vocals are just unbelievable. Gorgeous, gorgeous music from the band. Hey, Jack Kerouac. Love that one. At some point, I was thinking about doing one on the Beat poets, especially Allen Ginsberg. But she talks about all of them. She says, the San Francisco Beat Boys, you were the favorite. She's talking about Jack Kerouac, his famous book, On the Road. She does make a reference to, I'm trying to think if there's a reference to William S. Burroughs in there. She definitely makes a reference to Allen Ginsberg. She's got a line, Allen baby, now for the tricky part. And then she's also got a line in there. She refers to Jack Kerouac as a hip flask slinging madman. And then she refers to steaming cafe flirts. The language is beautiful. It conjures up some stuff to me, really, from Ginsberg in his poetry, and is absolutely fabulous. My absolute favorite is Like the Weather. Why is that? Because I've never heard a song that chronicles depression like this song. We've all been blue from time to time. Some people actually suffer from clinical depression as well. And this song, the color of the sky as far as I can see is cold gray. I lift my head from the pillow and then fall again. Shiver in my bones just thinking about the weather. A quiver in my lip as if I might cry. What a cold and a rainy day. Where on earth is the sun anyway? And then there's the line, do I need someone here to scold me? Or do I need someone who can pull me out of four-poster, dull torpor, pulling downward? I think that Elton John was right in one of his songs when he sang, sad songs say so much. He says, when all hope is gone, why don't you tune in and turn them on? Now, you can go too far with that. We're already feeling down. Listening to down music can take you even further. But sometimes that is just, it's what you need to hear. And I will say that her vocal, again, there's just nothing like Natalie Merchant's voice. Third one is Corinne Drury. And you may say, who in the world is that? And I say, she's from Swing Out Sister. And you say, who in the world is Swing Out Sister? And I say, they're the band that did the song Breakout. Came out as a single in 1986, and then was on the album that came out the following year in 1987, It's Better to Travel. You may remember that song as a big hit on MTV at the time. Break out, Don't stop to ask. Da 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 ba da da ba da ba. Break out. All right, that song, and you may well know that one. Honestly, all the Swing Out Sister stuff is absolutely fabulous. But absolute masterpiece for me. I've listened to it many, many times, and this is one I can listen to not only straight through, I can listen to it on repeat on a long trip. It is the 2008 album called Beautiful Mess. Mm, 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 mm. Friends, there is no voice like Corinne Drury's. It is dreamy. It is dreamy, and it is so clear and crystal like Natalie Merchant, although a very different voice from Natalie Merchant. But highlights off that album, the opening track, Something Every Day, just gorgeous, upbeat, just wonderful music. The song Butterfly, in fact, that is truly a highlight for me on that album. Secret Love, subtitled You're Invisible. Again, just a beautiful one about relationships that truly, I think only Corinne's voice could sing that song. The title track, Beautiful Mess. Love it, love it, love it. And then they actually do a cover of Breakout. They call it the Late Night Studio Take. And it's just a different rendition of their classic hit. These are the women's voices that I love the most. Yes, I love Pat Benatar, and I love some others in there too, but honestly, these are the three. Mm-mm-mm. So, talk to me specifically about female vocalists, female singers, any genre that you want to. Specifically, do you know anything about Sandy Denny and Fairport Convention? You know anything about Natalie Merchant's solo work or 10,000 Maniacs? And what about Corinne Drury and Swing Out Sister? Love to hear your thoughts on all of those. As always, as Malcolm Guite likes to say, I do these little things in order at last to do nothing. Or as I like to say in Latin, Parva ut tandem, nihil agam. Have a wonderful day.